Hello, welcome to this Gespi's Atari stuff video. In the past few years, several handhelds has been released with which you could play Atari 2600 games. Mostly this was limited to the built-in games, but sometimes you could add your own games via an SD card. And of course we are now all waiting for the Game Statio Go, with which you can also play games from other Atari systems. But actually you can do that now also. For example, with this system. What this is and how you set this up as an Atari game system, we will look at in this video. This is the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus, one of the many retro game handhelds from China. Like this you also have handhelds from Enbernic, Odin, Powkiddy and many others. Things they usually have in common are they're cheap and you have to provide them with games yourself. And often you have to import them from China yourself also. I chose this Retroid Pocket because of its form factor. It's small and it has a 4:3 ratio screen, exactly fitting the old games from before the widescreen area. And this system was under $100, $99 to be exact, and on top of that you have to add shipping cost and import tax. Together it came to $134. For that money you have a system with only Android installed in it. You have still install your games and the emulators. How you do that we will see in this video. And this is the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. It has two analog sticks and a D-pad. The usual 4 action buttons and then shoulder buttons on the back. There is also a micro HDMI and USB-C for power. At the bottom behind these heads is the SD card where you can place your games. When you turn it on, it starts with Android, just like a mobile phone. It also has a touchscreen to control Android. To start the games, a game launcher is included. Here we see the different emulators that are installed. The best known is RetroArch. This is an emulator system where different cores can be loaded. There are cores for most Atari systems. And of course Nintendo and Sega and so on. In emulation mode we can start the games. I only loaded a few games for the Atari 2600 and the 7800 here, and some Nintendo systems. Once you have chosen a system you will see the games. Let's try Pitfall. Now I have to get used to that again. I don't have many games in here yet because I don't use the included game launcher that much. I use the game launcher DIG or DIG. I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. If we go to systems here, we will see a lot more systems. And many more games. But the big advantage of DIG, at least I think, is that the themes can be used. I always use the Reunified theme. If I load that, you will soon see why. Look, that already looks a lot better. And the system's overview is really nicely made. Although it's designed for widescreen, so there are some parts missing on the sides. But it's still amazing to look at. And now we can also see which Atari systems can be emulated. Let's start with the Atari 2600 again. Then we first see all the box art of the games. For example, I choose a Demon Attack. Then we come to the details page. Here we have images of the game and then a description. With the big purple button we start the game. And then we have Demon Attack. One of my favorite games. Yes, it remains a fun game. With a button combination that can be configured, we return to the launcher. With the menu button on the top right, we get the menu. And here we can go to Manage Game. And here we see RetroArch is used with the Stella 2014 core as emulator. But we can change this here to another emulator. Below that we can choose which version of RetroArch. But how do we get those games on the Retroid Pocket? That can be done in a number of ways. I upload the games via the SD card. If we switch off the system, we can remove the card. Next I have this compact SD card reader. I insert the card in there. And then I place the reader in an USB port. This then comes available as D drive. I have created a folder here with the name Retroid Pocket Games. And here we go to the ROMs folder. And then we see folders for all the different systems. At the top are the different Atari systems. If we open the folder for the Atari 2600, we see all the ROM files that we saw in the menu. And like this we also have a folder with the Atari 17800 ROM files. Now that we are here, let's also have a look at another folder. That is the BIOS folder. The BIOS files of various Atari systems must be placed here. For example, the Atari 800 emulator needs a number of BIOS files. These files can be found on the internet after some searching. The same applies to the ROM files. But officially you must also have the original game to be allowed to use such a ROM file. If we put the card back in the Retroid Pocket and go to Options, then we see the option ROM scanning there. If we open it, we see that it is set to automatic. So if you place new ROM files on the SD card, they are automatically loaded and added to the menu. Below that we see the option Game Covers. These are also set to download automatically. And so the games are automatically added with the covers. Now let's take a look at the other Atari systems. We start with the Atari 5200. Which game should I play? I'll take Jungle Hunt. And it's always a matter of checking which buttons you have to use. Yes, there he goes. Okay, that is Jungle Hunt. On to the next system, the Atari 7800. Here I'm going to try Donkey Kong. Ah, I was too late to jump. Then we go to the next system. That's the Atari 800 or the Atari 8-bit computers such as the XL and XE computers. Here I'm going to try Bruce Lee. That's a disk game, so it has to be loaded from a vertical disk first. And yeah, that takes some time. There we have it. So, that was Bruce Lee. Still a fun game. Then we skip the Jaguar for this moment and we go to the Lynx. I never had that one, so I don't know the games for that system that well. Let me try Blue Lightning. I don't really have a clue what to do, but we will see it soon enough. Oh, that went wrong. Now look for the enemy, I assume. I see something here. Oh, there they are. Well, that's a fun game. Then we go to the Atari ST. But I don't have that one working yet. For example, when I start Boulder Dash, I get a black screen. I need to spend some more time on that to see if I can get it to work. Now let's go back to the Jaguar. I skipped that one because that also has some problems. I'll start Alien vs Predator, then you will see. You can already hear from the sound that it has some problems with it. No, that doesn't sound good. And the movement isn't smooth either. Well, the hardware should be able to handle it. The Retroid Pocket can emulate systems up to the Nintendo GameCube. If you now look at which emulator is used, then we see it's Virtual Jaguar in RetroArch. That is a somewhat older emulator that is known not to work a full 100%. Irata Jaguar is also supported, but that one is unable to find. The most used emulator at this moment is Big P Emu. This emulator was made for the Atari 50 collection by Digital Eclipse. As we can see here, this is 100% compatible and is fast, etc. Only if we go to download, then we see there's a version for iPhone, Windows and Linux. So not for Android, and also no RetroArch core. But we could run a Windows emulator on Android. For this I installed WinLater on the Retroid Pocket. There I created a Windows container that I called Jaguar. When I started, we end up in Windows. It's a bit difficult to control with the touchscreen, but I installed Big P on the D drive. And when I start it, then I get this. That's a shame, it won't start. Well, it will not start, I still have to figure out. If any of you know what could be going on here, please let me know in the comment section below this video. So, I just need to get the Jaguar and the Atari ST working, and then I think you have the ideal Atari handheld. I'm very pleased with it. It's a model from a few years ago, so I don't know if it's still available. But there has been a successor for this already, I think. And now we come to the end of this video. If you have come this far in this video, please then also click the like button. And please also subscribe to this channel. I still need a few subscribers to reach the 1000 subscribers. And of course I hope to see you again at the next Atari stuff video. Bye!